Check 1 2 1 2 ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. What's up, dude and dudettes and everyone in between and all that good stuff. Anyways, we got a lot of talk. Excuse me, I'm tired. It's early. Yeah. We have a lot to talk about. I have not been able to catch up the last couple days. This is from probably 3 days ago. So hopefully I will be able to catch up and make another video here soon of everything that has gone on. It's quite a lot. It's hard to keep up with. Anyways, let's jump into it. On World Health Day on April 7th, 2022, the U.S. announced they would send COVID vaccines to other countries for children, specifically children, not adults, children. CTAP, the U.S. has offered to license several COVID-19 technologies to, so that they can send to the rest of the world. This includes Pfizer's technology for the vaccines and whatnot, and that's also a scary thing because of the information and facts that came out recently about Pfizer holding documentation and data saying how it was not safe and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, yeah, move on to the next thing. The U.S. has a virtual call discussing such things with the ministers of health. This was on the 7th. Today is the 12th, so they probably already discussed this. We'll have to look into it more later on. National Institute of Health, Dr. Tedros of WHO has addressed that the WHO discussed the plan for the next 5 years with health plans and war in Ukraine. So they've already gone forward to discuss what their plans are for the human race in general for the next 5 years. This can be kind of concerning because if things are set in stone for the next 5 years, that means if any possibility could happen, things may or may not change because they already plan to do so. So it's a very slippery slope, can be very concerning, but we'll see from here. Not quite sure yet. So it's been from the 7th of April. It's been about 42 days since the war started, and the WHO claims that Russia forces attacked and killed healthcare workers, which is a violation of international law. I don't know how WHO and all the other world organizations are going to take this and what they're going to do from it. It's scary times, folks. Very, very scary times. So keep your head above the ground. Don't bury it. Pay attention to what is going on because every day new news is coming out and reporting things with Russia, with the healthcare crisis with COVID. WHO went on to talk about the whole electric car scenario and Biden wanting to be 50% of clean, green, energy efficient. So I have a problem with this because it's super expensive to make, for one. Batteries can last only if you take pristine care of the batteries. They can last up to 10 to 20 years. If you are in perfect condition of taking care of your batteries. If not, 2 to 3. 2 to 3 years, and it can take up anywhere from, I believe it's $2 or $3 grand to $5 grand to replace that. And then it's not a guarantee that it's going to last the 10 to 20 years because it's all depending on you. And it all depends on the manufacturers who put them together and how efficient they are. Now, let's go into this. The price of lithium almost doubled in 2017 to 2018. I believe that it went up about 47%. It went from $9,000 to $16,500. From the amount that lithium actually produces on the Earth's crust, it is only about 0.0007%. By 2040, the world will need about 800,000 tons of lithium just for battery production alone. So this does not include the demand for the batteries of smartphones, tablets, laptops, or anything wearable, including Apple Watches, Android watches, whatever. That does not include the 800,000 tons of lithium that they would have to take from the earth is only including lithium batteries in smart cars. Nothing else. Nothing else. So another factor and mineral that goes into a lithium battery, because there are 4 different materials from the earth that go into it, is cobalt. So cobalt is also another major part of the lithium ion cells. From 2017 to 2018, the price of cobalt doubled, jumping from $37,347 to $80,490. It has not jumped in price that high since the 1970s. Cobalt takes up about 0.0029% of the Earth's crust. Manufacturing of lithium-ion batteries occurs in Asia countries. A lot of it is in Asian countries. Headquarters is also in Asian countries. It did not specify which countries. It just said Asian countries. And then 80% of manufacturing ion lithium batteries is in China. Okay, now let's go back to the whole Russia-China thing. China is now currently paying Russia in rubles and only doing that currency as of now. I don't know if they're going to go back to the US dollar or not, but that's another story for another time, and how the US dollar is crashing and it's irrelevant anymore, and inflation and all that BS. Anyways, the problem is they're not going to take our currency, period, as of now, because whether China says it or not, they are allies with Russia, and Russia is at war, and they have put sanctions on the US dollar. Now, going back to the whole manufacturing of the lithium-ion batteries that would be in electric cars, where Biden wants to take green efficient energy, so he wants to change that by next year 50%. So how are we to continue production in China currently with the war, period? Because the US has already threatened to put sanctions on China if they help Russia in any way besides medical aid. Medical aid is not off limits, because every country, whether you're an ally or not, will send aid for those people, because humanity means something. So if China takes that out of consideration and helps them in any other way with military supplies, sending more rubles besides, buying gas and whatnot, U.S. is going to sanction them. China is not happy with the U.S. after Biden threatened to sanction them. Anyways, Nancy Pelosi announced that she would be making a trip to Taiwan. I personally didn't read into it on why she was going there. I'm assuming that she was going to talk to them about sending aid if China does invade. I don't know, that's an assumption. But she did announce that she would be going over to Taiwan. China did not react well to this, very PO'd about such things. A White House briefing with Jen was held this morning as of March 8th, 2022. She was directly asked about Nancy Pelosi's travel, and she had no comments at all. Jen was asked why immigrants were receiving free iPhones by Fox News. She became almost snarky, stating, "Do you have any better solutions?" She was then asked by the same reporter, will Americans be getting free iPhones as well? Is that an offer to everyone, or just people who walk into the country illegally? She then proceeds to avoid the question and move on to why immigrants receive them, which is for tracking devices to make sure that they appear in court dates, or needing to report for, offenders that were accused of sexual whatever. Can't say that because YouTube. But then she went on to say that ankle monitors, bracelets are used in that as well. But to give immigrants a free iPhone that they can use for whatever they want is kind of writing the lines of, I don't know. Biden is planning to visit the border next month to assess the situation. So I believe May. They did not specify what time they will be coming to the border. First time since he's become elected president, and it's like, a year and a half, 2 years later that he's doing that? Okay, I have my own opinions on that, but let's continue on with the news. Also in this White House briefing, there was a statement that another reporter brought up of several Secret Service members were and suspended from the VP and President and First Lady. So you have the Vice President, you have the current President, and you have the First Lady. Secret Services were suspended and removed. The investigation of 2 men impersonating officers. How do you impersonate a Secret Service member? How? How is that even physically possible? And if it is, shame on you. Jen's reply, not much here. I can point you over to the Secret Service and the FBI is overseeing the investigation. Secretary John Kirby held a press briefing today of March 8th, 2022. Kirby was asked, what are your feelings Russia's threat to Finland if they join NATO, that Russia would attack them? Kirby's response, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. Reporter goes, but Russia's threats should be taken seriously. You said that many times. Kirby goes, but that's where you get into the hypotheticals. We don't take Russia's threats seriously. Of course we do, but I'm not going to speculate or hypothesis about another threat to another nation. Certainly a non-NATO nation, I'm not going to go there right now. The reporter states, do you have any active plans to assist Sweden or Finland if they were to call you up and ask for NATO help? You have no plans. Kirby goes, Barbara, come on now. That would require that there has been no such request from Finland or Sweden. Obviously, even in natural disasters, if a country called in, we would take that into consideration. If the president believes that we can assist, then that's a conversation we will have. Our focus now is on Ukraine since they are under threat. So, I didn't realize that Russia, back at the beginning of March, had threatened Finland and Sweden that if they joined NATO, that they would be a threat and Russia would then move in. I had no idea. I'm kind of glad that I watched this report because that totally was like, there's so much news coming out at once that I can't keep track. With the way food shortages are going currently and the way the war in Russia is progressing and more threats of nuclear war is coming, you need to keep your eyes open and keep your head up and looking and be prepared, okay? I love you guys.
Among this clan, you are called the forgotten man.
Is that what they're saying? Or did you ever?